Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We take these big, complex topics, pull together the key sources, and, well, basically give you what you need to get up to speed quickly.
That's the plan.
And today, our focus is, I think, absolutely critical for anyone in education right now. We're looking at artificial intelligence, AI, but specifically for K-12 educators.
Exactly. Think of this deep dive as like a roadmap, especially if you're a teacher and maybe this whole AI thing feels brand new or even a bit overwhelming.
Right.
Our mission is really three things. First, give you a solid grasp of the basics, the technology itself. Second, cover the really important stuff around policy and safety. And third, maybe most importantly, talk about how we keep the human element, you, the teacher, and your students, at the center of it all.
Yeah, because I know for a lot of educators, it might feel like, oh, great, another tech thing to learn.
Right.
Or maybe even a bit intimidating.
For sure.
But what we're seeing in the sources is this really clear theme. AI is a tool, a potentially powerful one, yes, but a tool to help you to enhance what you already do so well.
That's the absolute key takeaway. It's not here to replace your expertise, your knowledge, your creativity. It just can't.
It's about support, not substitution.
Precisely. Think of it like getting a really advanced toolbox. You get these amazing instruments for planning, maybe for research, organizing things. It can streamline some of the grunt work, but the actual learning, the building of understanding, that still rests entirely with the student, guided by your professional judgment, that human focus. That's our anchor for this whole discussion.
Okay, so let's dive into that toolbox. If we want teachers to feel comfortable, even confident using this, we need to be super clear on what AI actually is. What's the simplest way to define artificial intelligence?
At its most basic, you can think of AI as the science of teaching computers to do things that normally require human intelligence. So AI systems are essentially computer programs, but they're designed not just to follow instructions, but to learn and adapt.
So it learns. It's not just following a preset script.
Right. Modern AI, especially the kind we're hearing so much about now, works by finding patterns. It looks at enormous amounts of data, just massive data sets, identifies patterns in that data, and then uses those patterns to make predictions or take actions or even create new things.
Okay, patterns in data, that helps make it less mysterious.
Exactly. It's sophisticated statistics, really.
Now let's hit some key terms.
Right.
Because the jargon can be a barrier, right? First up, machine learning, or ML. You hear that one a lot.
Right. ML is a specific part of AI. It's the technique where machines learn on their own. Instead of programming every single step, you train the machine by feeding it tons of data.
Like example.
Exactly, like showing it a million pictures labeled dog. Eventually, it learns to recognize the patterns that make up a dog without you explicitly defining ear or tail. It figures out the rules from the data.
Got it. And that leads us to the one that's really shaken things up lately, large language models, or LLMs.
Yeah, LLMs are a type of machine learning model, but they're specifically trained on language. Massive amounts of textbooks, websites, articles, everything.
So they learn language patterns.
Precisely. Think of them as incredibly advanced prediction engines. When you type something in, the LLM isn't thinking about an answer. It's statistically predicting the most likely next word based on all the text it's seen. Then the next word and the next.
Okay, that's a helpful way to think about it, like super autocomplete.
It's a decent analogy, yeah. It demystifies it a bit.
And when these LLMs or other models actually create something new, text, images, code, that's generative AI, Gen AI.
You got it. Gen AI is the output part. Using AI to generate new content that didn't exist before. Text, pictures, music, even video now. That's the creative application everyone's talking about.
Okay, two more crucial terms for anyone actually using these tools. First, the prompt.
Simple one. The prompt is just what you type in. It's your instruction, your question, your command to the AI.
The starting point for the conversation.
Exactly. And, as we'll definitely get into later, how good your prompt is makes a huge difference in what you get back.
Right. And the last one, this feels like a big warning sign we need to highlight for teachers and students. Hallucination.
Yes, this is absolutely critical to understand. A hallucination is when the AI basically makes something up. It invents an answer, provides false information, but presents it like it's a fact, often very confidently.
Why does it do that? Is it trying to trick you?
No, not intentionally. It happens because the AI is prioritizing making sense, sounding coherent based on its patterns over being factually accurate. It's like it's guessing what sounds right statistically, even if it's completely wrong.
So it might invent facts or even sources.
Absolutely. It can struggle with complex reasoning, or maybe it doesn't have data on something very specific or very recent. So it might invent facts, use faulty logic, or even create fake citations that look real but lead nowhere.
Wow. Okay, so rule number one is don't automatically trust the output.
Precisely. For educators, understanding that AI can be confidently wrong is step one. Teaching students to critically evaluate everything it produces is step two.
It's interesting, though. This technology feels so new, like it just burst onto the scene. But you're saying the ideas behind it aren't new at all.
That's such an important point for context. It helps lower the panic level. The actual term artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
it wasn't coined last year. It goes way back to 1956.
1956. Yeah.
Yep. At a conference at Dartmouth College, that's often seen as the official starting point for AI as a field of study. So the core concepts have been around for, almost 70 years?
So what changed? Why now?
Processing power, mainly, and data. We finally have computers powerful enough and access to enough digital data to actually make those old theories work in really impressive ways. It's a breakthrough in capability built on a long history.
Okay, this is where I think it gets really interesting, maybe less scary. For teachers just starting out, AI isn't just this future thing. It's already woven into things we use every single day, often without us even noticing.
Totally. Thinking of it as invisible technology is key. It shows that actually every teacher listening is already an experienced AI user, whether they realize it or not. It connects their daily life to what we're talking about for the classroom.
Right, it's not some alien concept. Yeah. Let's run through a few examples people use constantly, like just doing a Google search.
Prime example, when you search on Google, it's not just matching keywords anymore. It's using complex AI algorithms to figure out what you mean, your intent, and then matching that to billions of web pages. It looks at stuff like how authoritative a page is, maybe your past searches, even your location, to predict the best possible answer. That's machine learning working for you right there.
Okay, what about email? Lots of teachers live in Gmail. Seems pretty basic.
But AI is working hard behind the scenes. Gmail uses AI to filter out spam, hopefully most of it, and to spot those tricky phishing emails. That's ML protecting you.
And those suggested replies.
Yep, smart replies, or when it reminds you about an email you need to follow up on. That's AI analyzing the message content and predicting what might be helpful.
Okay, media. YouTube. Lots of teachers use videos in class.
YouTube uses AI quite a bit. Those automatic captions or subtitles, that's natural language processing. NLP, which is a type of AI working with text, makes videos way more accessible.
And the recommendations. Those videos it suggests you watch next.
Oh yeah, that's pure machine learning. It learns your viewing habits, compares them to millions of other users, and predicts what you'll likely want to watch next. It's constantly tailoring the experience.
I always think Google Maps is one of those mind-blowing examples, trying to figure out the fastest route.
It's incredible, right? Google Maps uses AI to look at real-time traffic data, accidents, slowdowns, construction, and instantly reroutes you. That's AI optimizing on the fly.
And it even reads street signs.
Yeah, it uses computer vision, another AI branch, to analyze the images from its Street View cars. It reads street signs, business names, opening hours, all to keep the map accurate without needing humans to check every single road.
And one more, really important for diverse classrooms. Google Translate.
Huge impact there. It's moved way beyond simple word-for-word translation. Modern Google Translate uses something called neural machine translation.
Which is AI.
Yes. It looks at the whole sentence, the context, and generates a translation that sounds much more natural and is generally far more accurate. So yeah, all these examples show AI isn't coming, it's already here, making things smoother, safer, more personalized. And because it's already here, that brings us to maybe the most crucial job for educators right now. We have to shift from just using AI ourselves to actively teaching students how to use it responsibly and ethically.
This is core digital citizenship now, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's foundational. We can break down the guidance for students into, let's say, 4 main principles for using generative AI responsibly.
Okay, let's start with the big one, the one teachers are probably most worried about. Cheating, academic integrity.
Principle 1, academic integrity. And the tagline here is, boost, don't replace talent. The idea is AI should be a helper, a thinking partner, not a shortcut to avoid work.
So it's okay to use it for some things?
Yes, it can be fantastic for kickstarting ideas, brainstorming, or helping structure an argument, or just getting over that blank page paralysis writer's block. Used right, it's a great cognitive tool.
But there's a line. A very clear line.
A very clear line. And we need to draw it explicitly. Copying text directly from an AI, maybe changing a few words, and submitting it as your own original work. That's plagiarism. That's cheating. Full stop. The student has to be the author, the thinker, the one doing the intellectual heavy lifting.
Okay, principle 1, don't cheat. Got it. What's next? This ties back to those hallucinations, right?
Exactly. Principle 2, critical evaluation. Tagline. Check for errors and bias. We have to teach students to treat AI like a smart assistant, but one that can make mistakes, sometimes big ones.
So always double check.
Always. Verify anything it presents as a fact. Use other sources. Cross-reference. The AI output is a starting point for research, never the final answer.
And it's not just about factual errors. There's also bias.
Yes, and this is trickier. AI learns from the data we feed it, right? Well, that data comes from our world, which includes historical biases, societal prejudices, you name it.
So if the data is biased, the AI might be too.
It can definitely reflect those biases. For example, if most writing about, say, computer science history was done by men, the AI might generate text that underrepresents women's contributions. It can perpetuate stereotypes or give a skewed view.
So students need to think critically about whose perspective might be missing or overrepresented in the AI's answer.
Precisely. It requires a critical lens, asking, is this fair? Is this complete? What bias might be hiding here?
And related to checking sources, we also need to talk about fake stuff, right? Like deepfakes.
We absolutely do. Deepfakes, those manipulated videos or audio clips that make it look like someone said or did something they never did, are getting easier to create. Students need sharp media literacy skills.
What does that look like?
It means teaching them to pause before sharing or believing, to investigate the source, look for weird inconsistencies in the video or audio, ask, who made this? Why? What's their goal? It's becoming a survival skill online.
Okay, critical evaluation is huge. Principle 3, this sounds like a safety rule.
It is. Principle 3, privacy. Tagline, keep private information private. This is non-negotiable, especially in schools. Students should never type personally identifiable information, PII, into public AI tools.
Let's be specific. What counts as PII?
Good question. It's things like their full name, social security number, date of birth, home address, phone number, personal email address, any health information. Basically anything that could identify them specifically.
Why is that so risky with a public AI chatbot? Where does the info go?
The big risk is that data entered into many public consumer-grade AI models might be used to train the AI further. So if a student types their name and school into a free chatbot, that personal information could potentially become part of the model's training data, floating around in ways we can't control. It undermines their privacy.
But what about school accounts? Like if the school district has an agreement with Google or Microsoft, is that different?
Yes, and that's a crucial distinction teachers need to explain. School-managed accounts, like those under Google Workspace for Education, operate under much stricter privacy policies, often governed by laws like FERPA here in the U.S.
Because the school has more control.
Exactly. Administrators manage the accounts, and critically, the data from K-12 users in these systems is generally not used for advertising or to train the public AI models. The protections are significantly stronger. Students need to understand their school account is different from their personal Gmail or a random website chatbot.
Okay, good distinction. And the final principle.
Principle 4. Understanding AI's nature. Tagline. It's technology, not human. We need to be clear with students. AI models don't think or feel. They don't have consciousness, beliefs, or emotions. They are incredibly sophisticated pattern-matching machines.
So don't treat it like a friend or therapist.
Right. They simulate conversation, but they don't understand in a human way. This means students absolutely should not rely on AI for making important personal decisions about their life, their health, their safety. Those require human judgment, empathy, context, things AI just doesn't have. Talk to a trusted adult, not a chatbot, for the big stuff.
Okay, we've covered the warnings, the guardrails. Now let's get to the exciting part. How can teachers actually use this technology in positive ways to make their jobs maybe a little easier or make learning more engaging for students? This is where this blueprint mentality comes in, right?
Yes. The blueprint mentality is, I think, a really powerful way for teachers to think about integrating AI into their lessons. It kind of reframes the whole process.
So what's the core idea?
The core idea is pretty simple. AI provides the blueprint. It can generate the initial outline, maybe some starting ideas, perhaps even a rough first draft. But the students, they do the building.
Building meaning?
Meaning the critical thinking, the analysis, the evaluating, the revising, the adding of their own voice and ideas, all the important learning stuff that leads to the final product. The AI gives a starting structure, The student constructs the knowledge.
I like that analogy. Can you give an example? You mentioned Frankenstein earlier. How could it work in, say, a science class?
Okay, imagine a middle school science class learning about ecosystems. A teacher using the blueprint mentality could have students prompt an AI, generate a plan outlining the key steps to restore a damaged wetland ecosystem.
So the AI spits out a plan.
Right, a blueprint. Maybe it lists steps like remove invasive species, reintroduce native plants, monitor water quality. The student's job isn't just to copy that list.
What do they do then?
They have to build on it. They might research which invasive species are relevant locally. They'd need to figure out which native plants would work best. They'd have to evaluate the AI's plan. Did it miss anything? Is the order logical? Maybe they add a step about community involvement. They take the AI's generic blueprint and make it specific, researched, and critically evaluated.
Ah, okay. So the assignment isn't describe wetland restoration. It's critique and improve this AI-generated plan for wetland restoration using local examples.
Exactly. The focus shifts from just producing content to engaging in the process of thinking, evaluating, and creating something better. That's where the real learning happens.
And that really hinges on knowing how to ask the AI the right questions in the first place. This skill, prompt engineering.
It's becoming essential for both teachers and students. We need to be really clear. The quality of what you get out of an AI depends almost entirely on the quality of what you put in. Garbage in, garbage out, basically.
And vague prompts get vague answers.
Totally. Most people start with just a few words, like, tell me about World War II. That's too broad. A good prompt gives context, specifics, maybe even tells the AI what role to play or what format to use. Like, prompts around 20-ish words often work better.
Can you give some examples of phrases teachers could use or teach?
Sure. Instead of just explain photosynthesis, try. Explain photosynthesis to me like I'm a fifth grader who already knows plants need sun and water. See the difference? You gave it a role and context.
Yeah, much more specific.
Or things like, create a 5-question multiple-choice quiz to test my understanding of the main themes in Chapter 3 of The Great Gatsby. Or, give me the pros and cons of using nuclear energy from the perspective of an environmental scientist.
Yeah.
Being specific about the persona, the task, the audience. That's good prompt engineering.
And this isn't just for student work, right? Teachers can use this skill to help themselves, like an AI teacher's assistant.
Oh, absolutely. This is where AI can potentially be a huge time saver and support for teachers, freeing them up from some administrative tasks to focus more on students.
How so? What kind of tasks?
Well, lesson planning for starters. You could ask AI to suggest lesson ideas for a specific standard, or help you structure a presentation, or even draft a study guide outline for an upcoming test.
That could definitely speed things up. What about things like grading or rubrics?
Grading complex work is still very much a human task, but AI can definitely help with rubric creation. Drafting a rubric from scratch can be time-consuming. You can ask Gen AI to create a draft analytic rubric or a holistic one, or a single-point rubric for a specific assignment.
Okay, but again, the quality concern. If the AI just spits out a generic rubric.
Right, and that's a key point. The teacher must see the AI-generated rubric as just that, a draft, a starting point. You then use your professional judgment to refine it.
So check if it actually matches your learning goals. Make sure the language is clear for students. Ensure it's fair.
Exactly. You have to customize it, tweak it, make sure it aligns perfectly with your specific lesson and your students. The AI saves you the initial drafting time, maybe 80% of the work, but you provide the crucial 20% of refinement and pedagogical expertise.
That makes sense. Beyond planning, how else can it help in the classroom, especially with diverse learners?
Huge potential for supporting comprehension and accessibility. You can use AI to quickly simplify a complex text for students who struggle with reading, or generate personalized practice questions focused on exactly what an individual student needs help with.
What about language barriers?
Big one. Tools like Google Translate, or maybe more specialized AI translation tools the district might provide, can help translate communications home to families' newsletters, permission slips, homework info. It helps bridge that gap for multilingual families.
And many devices already have AI-powered accessibility built in, don't they?
That's right. Things like text-to-speech, where the computer reads text aloud, or dictation, where students can speak their answers instead of typing, even live captions during lessons. Many of these are built into platforms like Chromebooks powered by AI, and they make a real difference in leveling the playing field for students with different needs. #BigShip. Rethinking assessment strategies in the AI era. Okay, so if students have access to tools that can write essays or solve math problems in seconds, this inevitably forces us to rethink how we assess learning. We need strategies that measure real understanding, not just the ability to prompt an AI well.
Right. The old take-home essay might not cut it anymore if we can't be sure who or what wrote it. So step one seems to be just being super clear about the rules. Clarity on AI permissibility.
Absolutely. No ambiguity. For every single assignment, teachers need to explicitly tell students where AI fits in. We can think of it in 3 categories.
Okay, what are they?
1. AI is not permitted, period. For this task, you can't use it at all. 2. AI can be used in specific ways. Here, you need to be crystal clear. You can use AI for brainstorming topic ideas, but you cannot use it to generate your outline or draft any sentences. Be precise about the boundaries.
And the third?
3. AI is permitted, maybe even encouraged. For instance, you're welcome to use AI to help you brainstorm, plan, draft, or revise your work, but remember you're responsible for the final product's accuracy and originality. Having these clear categories from the start helps everyone.
Okay, so assuming there are times when we don't want students relying heavily on AI for an assessment, how do we design against AI over-reliance? How do we make assignments harder for AI to just do?
We need to move away from assessments that just ask for easily reproducible information. Think about ditching questions with one right answer easily found online, or generic summary essays.
So what kind of assignments work better?
Things that require personalization. Ask students to connect the topic to their own specific experiences, their community, or their personal perspectives. Or focus on really niche or current topics that a general AI might not have deep data on. Anything that requires unique insight, the AI can't easily fake.
Makes sense. And what about strategies to really push that critical thinking piece, ensuring they're doing the work?
This is where we get creative. We need assignments that demand analysis, synthesis, problem solving in novel ways. One really effective approach is using staged submissions.
Meaning they turn things in piece by piece.
Exactly. Require an outline first, then maybe annotated bibliography or research notes, then a rough draft, then the final version, maybe showing how they responded to feedback. It creates a portfolio showing the process of their thinking, not just the final product.
Okay, I can see how that shows the students' work over time. But I'm hearing the immediate reaction from teachers. That sounds like triple the grading. How do you manage the workload?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And it's a real concern. The sources suggest a few things. 1, you don't have to deeply grade every single stage. Maybe the outline is a quick check for logic. Maybe the research notes are just checked for completion and source variety.
Focus the heavy grading on the final piece.
Partly, yes. But also leverage peer review. Have students give feedback on each other's drafts based on the rubric. That builds their critical skills and catches a lot of issues before it even gets to you. The teach-back method, explaining it to a peer, solidifies learning too.
Okay, peer review helps. What else?
In-class assessments become more valuable again. Whether it's writing an essay response in class or having a discussion that draws specifically on things said in that room, it makes it much harder for an AI to generate a relevant response.
And the classic, maybe the most AI-proof method.
Oral assessments. Have students present their work, defend their arguments, answer questions on the spot. If they can talk intelligently about it, synthesize ideas, respond to challenges, they understand it. Regardless of what tools they use to prepare, it really tests authentic understanding.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. We've talked about classroom practice, but there's a bigger picture here around policy and the overall direction. No matter how smart AI gets, the sources seem clear. Humans need to stay in charge.
Absolutely. This leads to what policy folks are calling the human-in-the-loop imperative. It's a core recommendation. Any AI used in education needs to be inspectable. We need to know how it works. Explainable, it should be able to tell us why it made a certain suggestion. And crucially, overridable.
Overridable meaning the teacher can always say no.
Exactly. Teachers have to remain in control of the important instructional decisions. They need the ability to monitor what the AI is suggesting, step in when human judgment is required, and basically hit the off switch or ignore the AI's recommendation based on their professional knowledge of their students and context.
Why is that so vital? If AI can process so much data, isn't it sometimes smarter?
It might be faster at processing data, but AI models are essentially very complex statistical calculators. They create approximations of reality, like a weather forecast model, but they're always incomplete.
Okay.
The educator's job is to judge how well that AI model, that approximation, actually fits the messy, complex reality of their specific classroom. Where does the model work well, and where might it break down or miss something crucial? AI is great at patterns, often terrible at context.
Can you give an example of that context blindness?
Sure. Imagine an AI analyzing student quiz results. It sees three students made the exact same error in subtraction. Based purely on the data pattern, the AI might recommend the same intervention for all three and maybe watching a video on borrowing.
Seems logical.
But the human teacher, knowing the students, sees more. They know student A has an IEP affecting processing speed. Student B was absent yesterday and missed the core instruction on that concept. And student C just had a really upsetting argument with a friend before class and is totally distracted.
Ah. So the reason for the same error is completely different for each student.
Precisely. And the right intervention is different too. One needs accommodations, one needs reteaching, one needs emotional support. The AI, lacking that context, would likely suggest the wrong thing for at least two of them. That's why the human teacher's judgment is irreplaceable.
That makes the human in the loop absolutely critical for equity, too.
Hugely important. This connects directly to the broader ethical foundations we need for using AI in schools.
What are those foundations?
First, we have to center people. Always weigh the convenience of the tech against risks to privacy, student agency, and human connection. Second, actively work to advance equity. We need to be careful that AI doesn't just become a tool for finding deficits. How can we use it to build on student strengths, their assets? And we must be vigilant about potential algorithmic bias that could disadvantage certain groups.
And the third foundation.
Ensure safety, ethics, and effectiveness. This means really doubling down on data privacy, understanding FERPA, state laws, district policies, because these AI tools often need more detailed data to work well. The goal isn't just efficiency, it's using these powerful tools safely and effectively to help all students learn, with teachers and students using their critical thinking to build that knowledge. #tag8, conclusion and final thought.
Wow, okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, really laying out a foundation for K-12 educators stepping into this AI world. If we boil it down, AI basics are understandable, it's already part of our lives, teaching ethical use is key, that blueprint mentality idea, and ultimately, the teacher, the human, remains absolutely central, the human in the loop.
That's a great summary, and I really want to emphasize that blueprint mentality again. Think of it as your go-to teaching strategy for this new era. It shifts the focus beautifully. Instead of worrying about students just getting AI to write something for them, you teach them to use AI as a starting point. Then focus their energy on the critical analysis, the evaluation, the improvement, the prompt refinement, spotting the bias. Those are the durable human skills we need to cultivate.
Before we wrap up, we really want to take a moment and just say thank you. To all the K-12 teachers listening, thank you for your incredible work, your dedication, especially as you navigate introducing these really important future-ready skills to your students during a time of such rapid change.
Absolutely. Your commitment is amazing. And remember what the policy folks say. AI in education can only move forward at the speed of trust. You, the educator in the classroom, you are the primary architect building that trust every day. So the final thought to leave you with is this. How will you bring your students along not just as passive users of AI, but as active co-designers of its responsible future in your classroom and beyond?